The amazing fact is that he has never heard it, that he heard all his other symphonies, but not the ninth, because when he died, it has never been played by that time. It was first performed by Bruno Walter a year later. Now, Mahler always made new versions because what he heard, it made him correct it here and there and bring in some new ideas which make the musical ideas clearer. So he always changed the orchestration, the details, the articulation, something to make his message understood by everybody. But not in the ninth, because he has never heard it. So the final version is the first version. And the amazing thing is that it is so masterfully composed that I don't have a feeling that anything needs to be improved here. That at this level, in his last symphony, Mahler was on such an amazing level of mastership, of knowing what sounds best, how an extremely complex orchestra works, that it doesn't need a revised version. He has never ever heard it. It's somehow heartbreaking. By the way, heartbreaking, it was, I think, Leonard Bernstein who said that this first rhythm, this bi, ba, ba, di, ba, bi, this irregular beat which starts the symphony in these single notes with the cello at the beginning, that it's actually a non-rhythmical heartbeat. Bernstein may be right that it is an irregular heartbeat. And it goes through the first movement, and when it comes back in the middle with brutal force, it's unbelievable. It's the worst tragedy one can imagine. That this irregular heartbeat, which is always there, suddenly hits you with a feeling of catastrophe. The whole symphony has something heartbreaking, I think. Well, of course, the last movement, because it is like an awareness which is fading, and you are on a very thin line. You are still aware of the world, and then it has little pauses, like silence in between. The way it's composed, this fading awareness, is one of the saddest and most beautiful things I can imagine. The way to start a symphony with this problem heartbeat and end with this fading awareness is an extremely personal goodbye to life. I think that's probably the most personal Mahler ever composed. The colors are amazing. I mean, how can one write a symphony with this type of start of this cello note and the same note answered by a muted horn back to cello, then another color of the horn takes over, it's open, it's muted, and then it leads us like a preparation to this fantastic, beautiful start as the violins come in with this two-note motif, which could be considered as a phrase which says in German Leb wohl, like a farewell gesture. I remember I saw once a very interesting score which belonged to Wilhelm Mengelberg, a famous conductor who knew Mahler very well. He wrote so many things in the score. I don't see the notes. It's full of red and blue and yellow and all kinds of remarks and markings. But what he wrote in the score is very special. The first notes which is the ba, there Mengelberg wrote Todesglocken. That was his idea. Then comes the next one with the violin entry, and then Leb wohl, farewell, very sad, but in a major key. I like the way Mengelberg was thinking about every detail of Mahler's music.